Today I've been feeling a little down, so we are going to do things that make me happy today. Come with me while we have some fun today. The first thing I will be doing is making a meal, an actual meal for myself instead of just doing like rice or toast or a bagel for dinner. So we'll actually do some things that I want to do. So I'm going to do oven baked chicken, and then I'm going to do like a hash brown casserole, and then I will also add a veggie to that. So that is my hash brown casserole, and we're going to bake that for about an hour. Hi friends, thank you for watching. Thank you for coming back to watching my channel again. I really do appreciate it. Today we're going to talk about what I do when I'm feeling down, which I've been feeling down a little bit this week. So I'll share with you what I do to make myself feel a little bit better. We're going to take a walk, and then I'm going to show you a couple things that I made during this week. So when I'm feeling down, what I do is I always make sure I get up and get dressed. Not necessarily take a shower per se, but I do wash up and clean up, put some makeup on, brush my hair. I put on some clothes, some like real clothes, because we all have those clothes at home that you wear that are just for home, and so I do put those on later, but I make sure I put on real clothes and you know, just get dressed. And it's funny because one of the things I did when Mike first died is I would always wake up and I would always get up, take a shower, brush my teeth, you know, brush my hair, and somehow I would always put earrings on. And for me, and I don't know why this is, but I felt like I had it together and things were going to be okay and I was going to make it if I had earrings on. And so I would say very rarely would I let myself like lay in bed and be sad. I think I did it a couple times, but most of the time for me I had to get up and get moving, and getting dressed was one of those. I'm putting earrings on, which is funny to me. Another thing I do is, you know, I have Tuna, my dog, so I have to get up to take care of her. I have to feed her, let her out, go potty, and so that really does help me to get up out of bed as well when I'm feeling down. When Mike was first gone, I had to get on antidepressants because I didn't know how to navigate sort of through that grief and anxiety that I was feeling. So they did give me medications to take. I'm not on them anymore, but if I needed them, I would get back on them because I do think they work, and I think you should take medications if they work and help you. So I'm not saying anything negative about that. One of the things I've learned is, and it took me a long time to do this, probably about a year and a half in. I even remember telling my therapist at the time, I had a trauma therapist, and I said, you know, shouldn't I be writing down what I'm grateful for or something? And she's like, her answer was, are you trying to kill yourself? And so I laughed because it really did feel like I had nothing to be grateful for. I couldn't see it. So I wasn't grateful that obviously that my husband died. I never will be. I'll never understand why he had to go when he had to go. I understand the timing is God's plan, but I don't understand it. If you ask me, I'll never understand why he had to go. So anyways, in the beginning, I couldn't see any of my blessings. I just couldn't. I couldn't focus on anything like that. I was like, you know, I lost my husband. I lost, you know, when you're married, you have two incomes most of the time. So we had two incomes, and he had the bigger income. So I had lost that, and I had lost my best friend and my partner. And, you know, it was really hard for me to be grateful that I'm here alone. The one good thing in the very beginning was I was able to buy a new car and buy this house with my sister, and I am grateful for that. But sometimes in the dark spaces that I was in, it was hard to be thankful for that. And so I remember I was starting to watch, I am addicted to YouTube, if you can believe it or not, but I watch a bunch of different people on YouTube, and there was this one guy, and he's just a regular guy. He's not a preacher or anything, but he would talk about God and the gospel and everything. And you know, I've always had a belief. I've always considered myself a Christian because I have been baptized. I believe in Jesus and God, but when I was going through that space of losing Mike, and I honestly thought that God was mad at me because I thought maybe I didn't have enough faith, you know, and so maybe that caused my husband to die, and I thought God was mad at me, which in the next few months after Mike died, I was in a terrible car accident. Some lady totally broadsided me, and so that just further cemented my thought that really God hated me and was done with me and he didn't need me anymore. And so I really was down and depressed. You know, I didn't want to keep living the way I was living. All of a sudden he showed up on my like For You page or whatever, whenever, you know how the algorithm shows you something that you might want to watch. He came up and I would listen to him, and a lot of times it would make me mad because he would say, you know, God's not mad at you. He doesn't hate you. He's not punishing you. And I really didn't believe him. So I would get pissed, and I would still think like, why am I watching him every single day? Because every single day he had a new video, and he still does. I still watch him every day. But it's almost like for me, I need to hear over and over and over and over and over again a message that I'm supposed to be hearing, and that I was supposed to be hearing at that time that God wasn't mad at me, and God needed me, and God was with me, because I did think that God, maybe I was so bad that God couldn't, you know, he had to leave me. He couldn't be with me. But in listening to this man, he made me realize that God was with me from the day that Mike died, you know. And I just wasn't listening. I wasn't paying attention. And so I wasn't going through this grief alone. And I was in a very dark, depressed state. And the one thing that I had to start doing, and my sister can attest to this, she saw me have some breakdowns, like where I was like, oh, you know, I'm freaking out. I don't make enough money. I'm not going to be able to live. I'm not going to be able to survive. And, you know, and that was when I wasn't listening to God and trusting in him. And I was only focusing on the negatives. And so I decided that I was going to start sort of flipping the narrative and start thinking about things that I actually have that is a blessing to me and has been a blessing to me. And so since I've done that, it sort of has helped my whole mindset. It's almost given me joy again, because I didn't have that for a very long time, probably 2 years, and I'm here, I'm in my 3-year journey. Because once you start dwelling on what's missing and what you're not blessed with, then it's hard to have that joy. And so when I count my blessings, and I have to actually think about like, okay, what's my blessing today, or what am I grateful for today? So for me, if I don't live like I am blessed or remember all my blessings, then I start to sort of go back into that pattern of like, oh God, you know, I don't have a husband. I only have one income. How am I going to do this? But I really am blessed in every single way. Really, the ability to recognize that I have blessings in my life has brought me a lot of joy and peace. I never thought I would say this, but I have been at peace probably in the last 6 months more than I have in the last 3 years since Mike died. And I realize that I'm never alone, and so that sort of gives me more peace as well. And when I'm talking about my blessings, sometimes I have to really like think about it. In the beginning, it was hard for me to remember about my house and my car and my dog. She's one of my blessings. My sisters are a huge blessing. You know, my family, my friends. And it's sort of hard to explain. It was like a little voice inside me, but when I pray and I ask for God for these things, like, you know, you said you would stay with me. You say you would be with me. You say you will bless me. I was just like, you know, and like a light bulb came on, and it was like he was taking care of me. And because since Mike died, I've never had to worry about where I'm living, what I'm eating, what job I'm doing, because whenever I have asked for something or in need of something, things that I don't even know I need, all of a sudden I have them. So sometimes I think, oh man, I'm so busy because I have 2 jobs and I make videos and I go to class. And I think, wait a minute, those are my blessings. That's what I've been asking for. I needed more money to live, so God provided me a second job. I wanted to take more classes at work to just kind of better me and get more education, and hopefully later another pay. And then, you know, I do these videos to maybe hopefully help somebody else who needs it, because when I was brand new widowed, nobody was there. I didn't have anybody to help in that they had gone through it before, and I was at the time refusing to go join widows groups and that sort of thing. But God really has taken care of all of my needs since then, and it's I just have to remember, like, even recently I was low on food, and one of my sisters bought me one of those food boxes so that I could have several meals in it. You know, it helped tide me over till I was able to pay and afford some groceries, and just things like that. And I've never gone without. You know, I don't have my husband, so I lost an income. I lost my best friend. I lost everything that I had in my dreams that I thought we were gonna do. You know, I lost my husband, yes, but then the secondary losses almost were harder than just losing him. And that was like my hopes and my dreams and my future that I had planned. In the last few years, the hard part is sort of navigating where I'm going. So now I'm just like, you know what, God, lead me, because I don't know what I'm doing or where I'm going, but I always have something that's new and coming up, and I always feel blessed, and like I'm taken care of. No matter how hard it is to count my blessings, I try to think of one new thing a day. Some days it's a hard day at work because a patient has been really not nice, or whatever it may be. But at the end of the day, I'm happy that I have my job. I love the people I work with. I love what I do. And you know, I just remember that, and I come home to a big warm house. I have my dog who needs me, and I need her just as much. And so I just really have to remember my blessings. So when I'm feeling down and that sort of thing, I do things that make me happy, like take walks. I listen to people on YouTube talk about the gospel, and you know, I do sort of pick up my house. That makes me feel good when I'm a little bit organized at the house. And then I cook. That's one of my favorite things to do, because it's just sort of mindless, and I love doing that. I think also that counting my blessings is reminding myself of how God has blessed me, and that sort of is a language of faith, I would say, if that makes sense. But all I know is Jesus loves me, and he's not mad at me. He doesn't think I'm a terrible person. He didn't leave me when I needed him the most, and he hasn't left you either. So sorry to be so preachy, but I just want to let you know that one of the main thing I do is count my blessings, and I'm grateful for everything that I have, and I can't wait for my future, honestly. Things are not perfect in this world, but I'm going to try to make it better in any way that I can. So thank you for watching. Please like this video, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe, and leave a comment of how you feel better, or what you do when you start to feel depressed and down. What do you do to make yourself better? One of the things I really love to do too is, and I haven't done this for a while just because of time, but I love going to the movies, and I love to go to the movies alone. And so I can sit there with my popcorn and watch the movie, and then, you know, that really fills my spirit and makes me feel good. Jobs that I'm blessed with, and I wouldn't give those up for the world. And they're the jobs that make me happy, and I don't know how many people could actually say that. I wish I had one job. I wish I didn't have to work two jobs, but that second job I do is so fun. It fills me up. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. I love you. We're taking you hiking, huh, Tuna? You ready? She's ready. Our after hike treat.